Hello to everybody. This is Brand Sampa from Sports Media TV. It's a platform where you shall follow the analysis of the major leagues in Europe. We shall deal with the top 4 in Europe, and then we shall deal with the top 6 in England. For the main reason why this platform was created is to analyze the football that is being played in England. But because England is not separate from the world or isolated, we shall also touch the top leagues in Europe. That is Serie A. We shall touch the Spanish league. We shall touch also the French league, and we shall also go to Netherlands and look at what they are doing. The main essence of this platform is to analyze the development of soccer, the development of football, the matches that are played. We shall analyze the mistakes that are made, what teams can be done, what teams can do indeed to improve what they are doing, and also what changes they can make, what kind of players they can indeed buy to improve their performance. We shall look at each match and see the mistakes that were created, make reviews that are professional, not biased. The publisher of this platform or news on this platform or analysis is a Manchester United fan, and therefore the majority of our time we shall look at the development of the Manchester United Football Club. What can Manchester do to develop to the level to which they were? Before we do that, the first thing that we can look at in our first show, which is today, is to look at what brought Manchester in the first place to this stage where we are, or where they are. You have to know that I know many Manchester United fans will disagree with me, but I'm not here to agree with people. I'm here to share an opinion that I believe firmly in. And I'm here also to interact with you. You share your own opinions. Give me your opinions. I'll give you my opinions about football, about Manchester United, about clubs like Chelsea, what is happening, Liverpool, Manchester City. We shall look at these things together. You shall share your opinion. I shall share my opinion. I don't have to agree with you. You don't have to agree with me. The bottom line is, as we discuss, we shall lead to the truth, and we shall know what the truth is. So in this video, I want to look at what has caused Manchester United downfall. Yeah, many people have looked at the Glazers. The Glazers are part of the major problem that is at United. But what you have to know is that the Glazers have pumped in over 700 million pounds in our team, Manchester United. And yet during that time, Manchester is deteriorated to a mid-table club that can challenge for anything serious. What then has led to this? You have to know the main reason why we're here. The main reason why we are here is because Alex Ferguson did not plan for the transition of this team. That is a major thing. You may say what you want to say. That is what I think. That is what I know. That is the truth as far as I'm concerned. Alex Ferguson did not plan for the transition of this team. You have to know that Alex Ferguson had a tendency. He did not want to see stars in his team. When a player was rising to a level as stardom of a star, Alex Ferguson had a problem with that. That is the reason he sold Beckham. It is also part of the reasons he allowed Ronaldo to go to Real Madrid. A team that cannot have stars cannot sustain development for a long time. The question you must ask, am I being ungrateful to Ferguson? No. Alex Ferguson is one of the most successful managers in Europe or in the world. And he contributed to the achievements that Manchester United have scored so far. But what you have to know is that Manchester United under Ferguson were not performing because they had good players, but rather were performing because they had what he instituted in them, which was a good team spirit. Manchester United had a spirit, which was a team spirit that was enabling them to perform better. You cannot tell me, for instance, that Rafael is better than Wan-Bissaka as a defender. Neither West Brown is better than Maguire. We have had, of course, good players in Manchester United teams, but not to the level of some of them that we have today. Look at Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I don't think there's anyone in the world who is as good as Wan-Bissaka on his position defensively. Yes, he has problems going forward, which he can learn, but defensively, there's no one better than him. One-on-one, there's no one that is better than him. That is why he has been able to stop people like Raheem Sterling. But he has not just stopped that one, he has stopped a lot of them. So, Ferguson didn't allow the development of the team through individuals. He allowed the development of a team as a whole. He didn't allow individuals to develop and become stars that the world will look at. That is why you see that no one in United, even under his time, even he was voted in the top 4 when they're looking at the best player of the year in Europe or the best player of the year in the world. At his time, no one, correct me, maybe that time when I was not watching football, but correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think that there's anyone who rose to that stature. Even Ronaldo rose to that stature after going to Real Madrid. This is a problem that Ferguson had. So he didn't allow individuals to become so strong because I believe that his ego was crashing with those that indeed were becoming powerful and becoming stars, and he didn't want to see that. Therefore, he weakened Manchester. But we couldn't see the problems in Manchester. Why? Because there was a strong team spirit that was able to overcome those weaknesses that he had planted in the team. As much as you need team spirit in a team, you also need great players. It is saddening that Ronaldo became a great player in the world when he went to Real Madrid. Sorry about that. It is also saddening that indeed, sorry about that. It is also saddening that indeed Paul Pogba only became the player that he became after going to Juventus. So something wrong was being done at Manchester United. And an icing on the problems, when he was going, he gets David Moyes, who is a mid-table manager, to coach United. I don't know his motive of allowing David Moyes or inviting David Moyes to be the one to be given a position after he left. I don't know what instituted that. To me, I look at a person who perhaps didn't want a manager like Mourinho to come in immediately, who erase all his records by succeeding quickly. He wanted someone who might maybe do it gradually in the name of Moyes. But we know that for all the time that Moyes was at Everton, Everton never went even in a top 4. For me, coaches like Moyes, David Moyes, are coaches who, just by being given a position to coach Manchester, it's an achievement in their own. And therefore, they don't aspire for anything. They don't aspire to perform better or anything because they have already achieved the success that they want to achieve in life. So getting a mid-table manager to coach a top club, you are inviting trouble for that club. And these were compounded by that decision that Manchester made to put David Moyes there. And that is why Manchester, when Ferguson left, the team spirit that he had built evaporated because there are new players that came in that David Moyes bought. After that, there are players that indeed Van Gogh bought. And therefore, that team spirit that he had built because he had stayed with those players for a long time was no longer there. And that is what made Manchester be exposed, that actually they are even weaker than they were performing. They were overperforming, actually, looking at the kind of players that they had at that time. This is a team that could use Roy Keane to defend when they are not defenders. You can imagine. We have made another mistake as Manchester United by giving Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, or Soska, however you pronounce his name, is learning on the job. He's a Manchester United fan. He's a legend. But legend or not, we needed someone who can take this club further. If we had brought him in for interim purposes like it were in the beginning, yes, it is a correct decision. But to make him a permanent manager was a wrong decision, and it was done in haste. And therefore, it backfired. Many people might check what is going with the coming of Bruno, what is going on, and believe that maybe Solskjaer is taking this team in the right direction. You have to know that that is change that has come because of one man. Bruno being injured in that team, and Manchester goes back to the way it was. It will take a long period for our players to understand the character, the attitude, the temperament, and the drive of Fernandes, and themselves to put on that drive such that they can stand even when Fernandes is not there. It will take a long time for them to build themselves to that level. Of course, things are changing and we are heading in the right direction. But whether Solskjaer should be the right person to take Manchester forward, not at all. Not if we want to challenge for a trophy next year. He's learning on the job. Does it mean he cannot become a great manager? He can. That is if Manchester wants to go that route where we say, we don't want to win a trophy now, we want to win a trophy in 2-3 years' time. He can achieve that. But don't you think 7 years is a long time without success, major success that we can talk about? Because Manchester United is the biggest team in Europe or in the world. Therefore, we cannot stay away from European football for 3-4 seasons. It is an insult to the stage of the club, a club of that magnitude. Therefore, the club, the owners, the managers must ensure that this is addressed immediately. The way they should do this is when we are going into the next the summer season, when we begin to buy players, they need to bring in 2-3 more players for us to be a team that can challenge indeed for anything. Let us not just buy players for the sake of buying players, but let's buy players who are real Manchester United players. An example I can give you is Fernandes. An example is Iguara. These are real Manchester United. An example is Rashford. These are real Manchester United players who die for the team. That is the kind of mentality we need in our players. If we can do that, we can build that team spirit that Ferguson had built, which we need, which is lacking in the team. Yes, we have individual brilliance in some of the players. In my next video, I'll look at the attack of Manchester, the front line. Thanks for watching, and I urge you to subscribe to the channel, and also you need also to click on the bell so that when we have a video, you can be notified. Subscribe and share as much as you want in this video. So we'll be coming once a week, and we'll begin with the front line. We shall analyze the front line, what is lacking, what has to be done. We shall analyze every individual, all the players, Marshall, Iguaro, Greenwood. We shall analyze all of them. That is next week. We shall come to you every Sunday. So next week begins this Sunday, and we shall have this video ready for you. Good luck, and continue supporting your favorite club.